Hello everyone. So in this video I'm going to discuss about ontology and how you can create your first ontology. So ontology is considered as a semantic layer for any organizational data. So when we say organizational data, what do we mean? We mean all the existing databases, data sets, for that matter all the policy documents, maybe they are referring some other data sources, etc. So we have a diverse data sources at organizational level, and we want to understand all of this data all together in one place, and that is where ontology comes in. For your better understanding, I have asked that questions to that AIB. Let me take help of that and explain you better. Um, so ontology can also be considered as a digital twin, as I said. So organizational providing structured and meaningful representation. When we are talking about digital twin, think of it like an aviation industry. In that we have airplanes, we have airports, we have staffs. Within the airplane, we have different classes, right, for seating. We have pilots. So individual entities can be represented with the help of ontology. And ontology is having four major components, or for that matter, I'll say five major components, like properties, each characteristics of the object types, link types, the relationship between the ontologies like pilots, airplane, then ground staff with the airplane, right, airplane to the airports. So these are certain relationship that we already have in real world that can be represented, that can be represented, using these link types. Action types, basically what kind of actions are possible using an object, that is also possible to capture here. So airplane flies, okay, airplane can turn on their indicators. So these are certain actions that airplane is taking, right? So those can be captured as actions. Airplane sends signals. So what kind of signal airplane is sending back to airport, or maybe to different pilot, to different airplane. So this kind of actions are also possible. Human, which airplane they are operating. So these are some actions, relationships, that is also possible. Function, we can altogether create a business logic that operates on top of the ontology. So these are some other topic that we can discuss on other video. So long story short, ontology act as a semantic layer on top of the business existing data. How to create one? Let's see. So you need to come to your ontology manager, and in ontology manager there is an option of new and then object type. Okay, so the first step is, it's asking like what kind of backing you want to provide. So you have two options: continue without data source, and there is another option which is use existing data source. Let's go with the first option right now, continue without data source. I'm unaware what data I have, but I still want to create my ontology. I'll go with this option. Then we need to select a folder, okay, where I want to store the data and what would be the dataset name. Let me give a name, test employee, and I want to store this data inside, let's say, data folder. So at backend what it did, it created a data set named test employee within the folder data. Now let's click next. Here we need to define the ontology name. So we are creating an ontology called employee, let's say, and ABC employee company. So when you give ABC, this will make sure that employee can also be available for other use cases, or can also be available for other departments, right? So you can specify those department or different use cases within this brackets. So I have given, let's say here, test employee. Plural name is something that it automatically comes in, so you don't need to specify that, and if at all you want to change, you can. You need to give a description if you want, else you can leave as it is. And group, you can add a group or for the access purpose, and that is also completely optional. Click next. So One thing that you need to always make sure that your ontology needs to have one column which is the primary key. So by default you can see a column primary key is already added, and that is also assigned as a primary key here, but it's also asking one more column called title. So what is title? So basically primary key is supposed to be unique and not null, whereas title is something ontology used to represent that particular row when you're selecting. So here you can select the primary key or you can select any other column. Let me create few columns. Add property. So the first property that I want to create is emp name, and second property as emp salary. So when we select a particular row, I want to show employee name. That's why I'm selecting employee name. I'm hitting next. Here it is asking me whether you want to create action type on this ontology. So when we say action type, create, modify, delete. These are the three default action type which is already selected. So you can either go with that or maybe you can remove the actions. Okay, we can create actions in the later stage as well. So let's remove this one for the time being. Hit create. So this is the even this is the draft version of the ontology that we just created. To the left we have all the details. Let's go one by one. So this is overview page. Here you can see what's the plural name, what's the ontology name you have given, then which ontology it belongs to. So this is belonging to my instance, and what's the API name of the ontology, and what are the properties right now. Any action type if at all you have defined, it will come here. Then what are the link type? So there is no link type as of now. Data and usage, nothing is there because we are creating for the first time. Coming to the property tab, you will see all the properties, right, for the ontology we defined. Employee name, employee salary, primary key, that is something which automatically came in, so that is also available here. Coming to security, so right now I am the owner of this ontology, but you can also provide access to this ontology to other person. That is also possible, but here right now you can see I am the owner and I have the complete access. Then there is a data source. Within the data source, the backing data source of this ontology is test employee, the one which we just created a few minutes back. It is using as a data source. Allow edits. So when this is toggled in, that means you are allowing this ontology to be edited using actions: create, modify, delete. These are the actions. So you need to enable this in order to have those actions working. Okay. Then we have capabilities. So this is dynamic scheduling. This is some other topic we'll discuss when we'll discuss about workshop widgets. Okay. Then media time series. These are some capabilities. For now, let's ignore that. And history is something which will tell you about the what changes we have made to this ontology. Right now we haven't created itself. This is the draft version right now. So let's go ahead and create this ontology. Hit save. Save to ontology. Save changes. So this is how we created our first ontology. Okay, it will take some time. The sync will run, and after few seconds or maybe a minute, your ontology will be ready to use for other applications or maybe for other actions, links, etc. This is one way. Coming to the second way of creating your ontology. So I'm going back to my ontology manager, and I'm again going to click new object type, and this time I'm going to select the use existing data source. Okay, all the process is same. The only change is I'm going to use the existing data source. Think of it like you have created a data set and now you want to create an ontology from that data set. Okay, so in that case you need to select this option, select the data source that you want to create the ontology for. So I have, let's say, this order data with me, so I'll select this order data. Then next, then it's asking me to give a name to this. Let me give test in brackets. Then next, this is interesting. See, previously a primary key was there automatically and we created properties manually here, but if you see a lot of properties automatically available here. Okay, so these properties are coming from the backing dataset, order dataset. So here we have order ID, date. Okay, then we have plant ID, supplier ID, many things. So we need to define the primary key for my ontology. So as this is a order data, I know the primary key is my order ID. So I'll select order ID column as my primary key, and maybe I want to select the order status for that. So I'll select the order status for my title key. Next, this time I'll go ahead and select the action types: create, modify, and delete. then I'll hit create. So the process is simple and same. The way we created that ontology before, that ontology, like we got a draft mode, so this is also a draft mode right now. So in overview, if you can see, all the action type that we have selected is here. With the help of this action type, we can make changes in the ontology. Here we have all the properties. Okay, then below same. Then we have property section. Within the property section, we have all the properties. If you want, you can create your own new property as well. I mean, that is something you can do. Then we have security. Within security, same. I am having my ontology owner as the ontology owner, and this is my data source, raw data, raw orders. So this is how we, this is the draft mode that we already seen in previous way of creating ontology. Capabilities and then history. Okay, this is very simple. So once we are ready and know, like, okay, this is what we want to create, then hit save and save to ontology. So these are two ways to create the ontology in Palantir Foundry. If you have any question and doubt how to create the ontology and what are the columns that we need to add, let's say conditional formatting, many things are there available in ontology. We will discuss about it. You let me know that if you want to learn about any specific area, I'll try to create a video out of it. But this is it for this video on how to create your first ontology in Palantir Foundry. Thank you and see you in the next video.